Shalom, shalom. I want to start off giving all praise, honor, and glory. Call halal, Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Waha, Rachak, Wadash, Bakatah. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity and risking their lives and freedom to do so. Now more than ever, shalom to the hopeful elect, shalom to the Akwaf and the Akim out there listening and learning, shalom to the confusion of faith brethren joining onto our ranks, as well as those that we're hoping to join onto our ranks. Um, Once again, it's your brother, fellow servant, Yahweh Sop out of GMS Cleveland Church, coming at you with another lesson. Today, this lesson is out of a book. I've done some videos on this book once, but that's what it says. What the future looks like. Scientists predict the next great discoveries and reveal how today's breakthroughs are already shaping our world. And they go into a few different things: genomics, robotics, AI, the Internet of Things, synthetic biology, transhumanism, interstellar technology, or Salakia, interstellar travel, colonization of the solar system, teleportation, and much more. So, I was going to go into this transhumanism, but I might just go into the Internet of Things because through the Spirit, I was listening to Apostle Tahar, and he spoke on that. He said how that chip is going to actually allow you to connect to the Internet of Things. So I'm going to start off with a scripture, and then I'm going to find the chapter with the Internet of Things. Let me close this out. Revelations 13. Revelations 13 and 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and six. So basically, you know, Revelation 13 is going into that mark of the beast, which we at Great Millstone proclaim is the RFID chip. You got the NFC chip, and then you got another one. I know NFC stands for near field communication. You got another one. I can't remember if near field communication is the European one, because you got one that's being distributed over in Europe, in that area. Then you got one that here, and you're seeing it in the news. It was deemed by Apostle Tahar the year of the Karagma, and you've seen a somewhat, not a somewhat, you've seen a push on the chip. You know what I mean? It ain't a somewhat, and that just shows that Apostle Tahar, the Spirit, be dealing with him, because to this year is the year when they talk about Switzerland and all them people getting chipped, and these just they're putting it out there, making it known, like putting it in your subconscious. You constantly hearing about this chip, so eventually, Lord willing, soon it'd be mandated. So Jacob's trouble could come, because it's got to get worse before it get better. But basically, that mark is that chip. I've heard brothers go into it and break it down. The one brother, I believe his name is Yahweh Sop as well. He was talking about how, at the time when John was having a vision, the, it looked like a sting. And, how that chip goes into your skin is like a snake's or a scorpion, not a scorpion, a snake's sting. You know what I mean? Because of how his fang is. So long story short, when you go into that word karagma, it's an incision or a cut. You know what I mean? And exactly what happens when you're getting this chip. So, like I said, I'm gonna read the Internet of Things. Try and read as much as I can, and maybe at a future date, Laura willing, I come back and read about the transhumanism. Um, Bear with me for a second because I'm going to probably need some light. Shantan. Salakia for that. Now this book is, I guess, um, made up of multiple articles by different, I guess, people that's in the industry. So they're writing, I guess, essays or whatnot. So this is chapter 8, um, the cloud and Internet of Things. Naomi Clymer. The cloud and the so-called Internet of Things, or IoT for short, make a powerful combination and one that will increasingly shape our lives in the future. Put simply, cloud computing provides access to a shared pool of resources such as storage, processing, applications, and services. The idea is that you don't need to have all these capabilities on your own machine if you have reliable access to them elsewhere. Indeed, if you can access them whenever you need them, you'll be able to use much richer resources than you could afford to have personally. Once you put things in the cloud, mobility follows. You can pick up your Gmail in Paris or Cairo. You can work in Chicago and type Slovakia in Chicago and Tokyo, staying connected to the office HQ and watching Netflix in your downtime. This has already transformed flexible working, personal entertainment, and lifestyles. The other thing that the cloud makes easier is collaborative working. If data and applications are remote, it's feasible to bring people together to work on something at the same time without being physically together. And just to interject real quick, and that's what we've all been proclaiming as far as it's been doing videos or speaking about this topic, as far as the Internet of Things, as far as the RFID chip and whatnot. It's all going to be pushed in a way for convenience. And you can see, like, well, I know I can see, and I'm sure other brothers can see it, and a lot of people are going to take this chip. That's why, it says it's going to be a remnant because a lot of people, because look at it. I remember one day I was in the court at, not actually in the court, but like outside the court where you can actually get away with dealing with your phone. And I just so happened to look around. No, matter of fact, it wasn't court, it was at my probation office. I happened to look around and everybody pretty much in the whole office, and this office might sit like 60 people. It's at least 25, 30. And everybody from the receptionist to the county worker, the county, what is the sheriff, the sheriff to the receptionist to people who are sitting waiting to go see their probation officer. Everybody's on their phone. So that's how Esau is really gonna get a lot of people, not just Jake, but a lot of people to gravitate towards that chip because out of convenience. And we're not even talking about when it's get pushed mandatory when you find out, oh, well, you won't be able to access your funds unless you get this chip. I mean, how many people you think gonna do that? I've worked 25 years and I've got 75,000 saved in the bank. You telling me I can't access it without getting this? How many people you think gonna get that? The other thing that the cloud makes easier is, I already read that, I believe. Salakia. This can be hugely important in industries where there are workers in the field who can now be virtually joined by experts supporting them without being on site. In the creative industries, broadcasters covering the Olympics used to send their whole team to the event, but now they can send far fewer people and do the bulk of the work back at base. This isn't just a case of getting everyone on the internet. It requires collaborative tools to help people work collectively in a virtual environment. If you've ever tried to have a telephone conference with 10 people, it can be very hard to manage who speaks when. Add some very simple visual online collaboration tools to this call, such as the ability to raise your hand, and the experience becomes much more meaningful. The quality and the creativity of virtual collaboration tools will be a key driver of future cloud usage. but it's an indication of how in the future we will all be much more connected and how central the cloud will be to that. If the internet is one network for the planet, something that allows people to collect and exchange data, then the IoT or Internet of Things is something that allows things, physical objects such as cars, thermostats, refrigerator, or it says fridges, to do the same. So basically, that's going to be the network that you're going to basically upload from the chip to access. Like I said, like say for instance, you got the smart lock on your home, which I've know everybody like AT&T pushes that. You know, if you go ahead and get that whole little security service with them, where everything is, you could view your home when you're not at home. You know, you could lock your doors automatically from home or open them. You know, so in 2016, InternetWorldStats.com estimated that there were about 3.7 billion people on the internet. There are already far more things on the internet than people, and estimates suggest that there will be about 50 billion things by 2021. And it's 2019. Already we're seeing smart IoT devices for fitness, well-being tracking, monitoring vulnerable people, and continuous monitoring for specific medical conditions such as heart rate or blood sugar. Now, taking them out of consideration, remember, if anybody's ever seen that movie, Minority Report with Tom Cruise, and how they were able to track, you know, because they had that pre-crime division that Tom Cruise was actually the head of. They were able to track everything. They knew where the person worked, where they lived, where, you know what I mean. Come on, this is that. Yes, Esau's the devil, man. Yeah, I'm talking about he think he omnipotent. He tried to be anyway. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. You know. So like I said, it's gonna be a beautiful thing when, cause you know Esau, he got this thing mapped out, but you know it says in scripture that the Most High, you gonna allow him to think he got it mapped out. This is Job 5, and I'm gonna start at 11. To set up on high that Salakia, to set up on high those that be low, and who. Well, let me go here. And who is in control of everything on the planet? The wicked. Who are the wicked? That's how you know who the wicked is. Because who's running the earth? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Now, who has covered the faces of the ultimate judge? Yahweh Shah. You know, who changed him from, you know, a man of melanin, of color, to, you know, a pale faced devil that's actually based on somebody that actually existed in history. You know, I remember when I first came across that and learned that Leonardo was a homosexual and all that. And, you know, I used to think Leonardo was a brilliant man because, you know, he was a inventor, a painter. I'm like, this motherfucker's a faggot. But back to Job 5 and 12, because it's going to be beautiful, like I said. The thieves, Edomites think that they got it all mapped out. He said, to set up on high those that be low, that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. He disappoint the devices of the crafty, so their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So they think that they gonna actually have this set up. You know, he gonna let them. You know, it's gonna look like, cause you got people getting the chip now. But as far as on that mass scale, everybody being chipped, you know, he gonna keep a remnant safe from that. Um, Cause it's gonna be a group of people, a group of men, maybe some women. You know what I mean? Cause you're gonna have women in the elect, you're gonna have children in the elect. What's like, well, yeah, in the elect, you know, in that 1/3 number, but the elect are men, you know. That's what I was just listening to the elders speak on that. You know, they went into all them scriptures about the tabernacle, like I think it's in Ezekiel. The flock of the Most High are men. Let me see. Continuing, it says it's early days yet, and there's quite a lot of debate about privacy, security, the social impact and efficiency of these solutions, but they already seem to be an unstoppable force. I'm gonna stop there.